Hello, welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen. And how are you doing today? How are you doing with the time change? If your state changes. I thought we voted to get rid of that. And my daughter asked me the same thing. She's like, didn't we vote and get rid of that? And I'm like, I thought we did, but everything still changed. So let me tell you how my daylight savings time day started. I couldn't sleep. So I was just like, I'm just going to get up and put all my thoughts on paper and just, unload my mind because I had so much just on my mind. And I sat there, I got up and, I'm doing my thing, and all of a sudden I happened to look at my phone and I'm like, oh my gosh. So it was 3:30 when I got up, like with the time change. So it was 4:30, feeling like 4:30, but with the time change it was 3:30 in the morning. It was a very long day, but I was very productive. And then again today, I'm usually up at 6, so it's like shortly before 5 and I'm wide awake, waking up, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go with this. I'm just gonna get up and do this, right? Because eventually it will catch up with me and then I will be all, getting up at the regular time. But it's okay. I get a lot done this way. I got a lot done this morning. I got my sauerkraut all packaged up. Did you know if you can your sauerkraut that it loses all the probiotic that you created when you fermented it? Because I saw all over, you can can your sauerkraut. And all of a sudden I was like, but isn't that going to ruin it? Kind of like fermented pickles and stuff like that. And yeah, you can't do that. You lose, and there's still good qualities to it, but if you're going to sit there and ferment it for so many weeks, you lose the probiotics that you're going for. Interesting, yeah. So I've been getting up early. I mean, that's the thing, if you have cattle, you can't go out there and go, hey, Betsy, it's daylight savings time. You have to wait an hour. It doesn't work that way. Nope. So if you feed cows at 5, now you're feeding them at 6. Right? Wait, we went back an hour. So if you fed them at 5, it's now 4. Yeah, whatever. It's a thing. Cattle don't run on that. Nope. So yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting, and I don't mind the fall back. It's the spring forward that seems to just be so detrimental and cause havoc in people's lives, which I think is why they do it. But anyway, today this is just a shorty. This is my daughter's favorite, absolute favorite chapstick. I have been doing this since way back. And it's a fun one. It's just don't eat it. So anyway, 3 things. Be kind, be forgiving, be you. And let's go check out the chocolate peppermint lip balm. Okay, into our lip balm. I was gonna do 3 different ones, but I just decided that, it's close to Christmas and you don't want to see a bunch of lip balm. So as you saw, that is roasted cocoa butter I buy from Mountain Rose Herbs. And if you want the recipe for this, you're just going to have to follow along. This makes about 4 lip balms. Okay, so the perfect batch for those of you that just want to make it at home. So we need 0.18 ounces of cocoa butter to start, and a splash of beeswax. No, I'm kidding. 0.18 ounces of beeswax. For this, you can use yellow and you can use white. It doesn't matter which color beeswax you use. I just pulled the white out because my other ones all required white, so I just figured I would use my white beeswax. And then we're going to apricot kernel oil. I just love apricot kernel oil in lip balms and lotions and all those things. So, and that takes about 0.49 ounces of apricot kernel oil. And then you gotta have castor. I put castor in every single one. That's about 0.07 give or take. I think I usually put 0.05, but yeah, whatever. You know, sometimes it drips an extra drop and then, you know, it changes the scale. So now this next ingredient you might not have and you can do without it. It is my chocolate extract made with cacao nibs, and it's so yummy, just like that. You know, I should make it into a syrup, but I don't. And then I melt it to above 150 degrees because why? The beeswax has to melt. The second secret ingredient in this is cocoa powder. And you can use dark chocolate, you can use, you know, whichever kind of cocoa powder you want. I don't use cacao powder, I use cocoa powder. Now, the most difficult thing about this is you can't pour it early. You have to make sure you mix it up really, really well, and so that the cocoa powder doesn't settle on the bottom. Okay, so you have to give it a little bit of time to cool. There's also, since it's chocolate and peppermint, there is peppermint essential oil in this. I put about 4 to 6 drops in this batch. I think I added a little bit more. Did I put 5? Yep, I put 6. See, that's what my notes say, 6 drops. Yay! Interesting enough, looking into the different types of peppermint oil, essential oil that is sold all over, now there are some websites will say do not use, you know, for lip balm, but there was just, I think that was like one site I found. The rest of them, you know, safe for this, safe for that, just make sure it's well diluted. Well, it's in the lip balm, it's well diluted. So as you can see, it is taking me quite a bit of time to, you know, let this set up. But yeah, like I said, you don't want to pour it too early or everything will settle on the bottom. And then what's the point of, you know, putting cocoa powder in this at all? It's yummy. It does tint the lips slightly, which is, you know, it goes on fabulous. The crazy thing is there's not a lot of beeswax in this compared to my other lip balms. But because of the cocoa powder and, you know, it kind of makes up the difference. I don't know why. It just works really well. Yep. So getting ready to pour this. It kind of reminds me of a salt bar. You know, when you make a salt bar, you want to make sure it's thick enough to hold the salt and suspend the salt, you know, so you have salt all over the bar instead of just, you know, that's kind of how it goes here. So, like I said, this makes about 4.18 ounces of lip balm. Okay, I lied. Oh, no, it does. I swear it makes 4. Don't waste your lip balm stuff, guys. I saw somebody, they were making huge amounts of lip balm, right? Like probably 200. And she's like, this is all the waste I have left. And yeah, she had a very small amount of waste. The stuff I have left over, I will stick it into like a tube. I have a tube that just sits there. And then I'll just take the little bit of extra, which is very, very minimal, right? It's just whatever's on that spatula and whatever I get off the jar when it cools. And I stick it in this little lip balm. So this little lip balm has like, you know, 10 different flavors in it. And sometimes it works great, you know. It's like you go from mint to chocolate to strawberry to, you know, caramel apple. But yeah, after a while it gets gross. And there you have it, my chocolate peppermint lip balm. It's even labeled coconut free. And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time, and God bless.